What up, guys? My name is Alex Guardado. I'm a tattooer out here in the San Fernando Valley, and you are watching Blasted. I am from Simi Valley, born and raised. Been hanging out here in the valley for like 6 years, 7 years now. My dad originated in Mexico. My mom was born out here, I think, or like somewhere in like Ohio or some weird shit. I don't know. I always forget where it's from, but she's been out here forever. My dad's been out here for I'm gonna say like 25, 30 years now. And yeah, they had me out in Simi Valley. Born and raised. Loved it out there, but I love it more out here. Not gonna lie. How was I as a kid? Sheesh, a stoner. I smoked a lot of weed. I didn't really go to school much. I did obviously in elementary school because I was forced to, but once I got to high school, man, I was kicking it with the homies. Like I went to my first class, second class, and I was hopping the fence out of there. I was gone, and kind of quit after a while. 10th grade, I think I made it, and then after that, it was nothing but art. I first came across art when my cousin would draw out of the lowrider magazines. He would end up getting like the pictures of the lowriders, and he would copy them almost exact. And I was just like, dang, I'm gonna be like that one day. But he wasn't tattooing at the time, so I would just like watch him for like an hour, and he wouldn't even notice me for a while. And then he'd turn around and be like, "Yo, what are you looking at?" Because he was kind of like a gangster. So I was just like, "Hey, don't, I'm just watching you draw. It's cool, it's dope, And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna do that shit one day." So that's like when I first came across like some cool art. Before that, it was just like art on TV and stuff like that. There wasn't no Ink Master and none of that shit. So I looked at art from like magazines and stuff like that, and my cousins and like classmates was. I had some cool classmates that would draw some pretty cool stuff, but nothing like my cousin would. So like he started tattooing, and he tattooed me, which is how I kind of ended up with some like not so great work, but after that, I saw him tattooing and I was like, I could do that. I know I can do that. So I picked up a machine my buddy gave me and all over from there. Now, I drew at school a lot. I was the kid in the back of the classroom drawing. I drew a lot of kind of anime stuff, but I guess more the traditional tattoos. Because at the time, I watched a lot of YouTube videos of traditional tattoo artists, and I didn't want to be a tattooer yet, so I was just like, it's cool artwork. So I drew the artwork a lot, just like with pencils in a class. And my teachers would be like, hey, if you're not going to do schoolwork, at least do something productive. So I was like, all right, I'm going to draw, you know. So I did a lot of drawing in class. That's where I did a lot of my learning. High school, I was a bro. I had the high black socks with Dickies, a Metal Militia shirt or something like that, or No Fear. I had the spiked hair and shit, and I was a loser. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't that much of a loser, but I had some pretty good friends too. We all had the same style. We rode dirt bikes and smoked a lot of weed and hung out. Usual high school shenanigans. After high school, I mean, I didn't even finish high school. I dropped out in 10th grade and started working with my pops, and he cut trees, and I hated it. It was always hot. It was always just the worst ever. I dreaded getting up in the morning and having to go to work. And he fired me. Well, actually, I walked off of the job. We got in a fight one day, and I was just like, you know what? I don't need to take this anymore. And he was like, all right, you can walk home. And I was like, I'm gonna say like 6 miles from my house, and I walked all the way to my house, and I was mad at my dad. I hated it, dude, but jumped around for a few jobs. I worked at Kohl's. That was my last like actual job. Kohl's department was I thought working with my dad was bad. Kohl's was horrible. I emptied trucks at Kohl's. The back, I was in the back. They put me in the front every once in a while, but never the register. Because I was already pretty tattooed. I wasn't tattooing at the time, but I had a bunch of tattoos from my cousin already. So I was like, I didn't have the neck shots or the hand shots or anything, but I had some pretty good sleeves going. So they're like, yeah, we're going to keep this guy in the back, So I unloaded the trucks. It was super hot. There was no AC back there. They didn't care about us. They didn't. It was horrible there. So after that, I told myself I wasn't going to do anything I didn't want to do anymore. So I was like, I'm going to do something I want to do, which I was thinking about tattooing, but I hadn't got into yet. So I was just like, I'm going to do something I want to do. So I left Kohl's, quit there. I didn't even give him a 2-week notice. I was just like, I'm out. I'll catch you guys later. I'm going to do something I want to do, but I'm going to figure that out later. At that time, I was 17. Yeah, I wasn't even 18 yet. But 17, and I ended up quitting there. And I kind of bummed around for a little bit because I was looking for another job, but I was just like, I don't want to do something I hate. So I was just like, I'm just going to look around until I find something. I had a little bit of money saved up. And after that, I kind of fell into tattooing. It wasn't like I'm going to be the tattooer. I was just like, I did it for fun, just like most people started out. Yeah, my cousin was tattooing at the time, and he wasn't doing the best work, but at the time, I wasn't a tattoo artist or professional, so I was like, that's sick. It's super clean, super crisp. I like it. But it wasn't the best work, but it was dope. It was a good experience. And I had fun getting tattooed for my cousin. He liked a lot of like the Chicano Cholo kind of stuff, but I wasn't really into that, so I kind of forced him to do stuff out of his comfort zone with like traditional sailor ships and stuff like that. And I thought they were pretty good. I got some pretty clean work. I'm not gonna lie. He is kind of tattooing. He always told me he was not into the shop life, so he just like tattoos out of the house, tattoos the homies, and like I don't get tattooed by him anymore. But he comes over here every once in a while, helps us out with like Friday the 13th and stuff. But other than that, he's like maybe once a month I see a tattoo out of him, and that's about it. Well, when I first picked up a tattoo machine, I didn't really think I'm going to be a tattoo artist. I just kind of feel like my buddy bought a tattoo machine off of like probably Amazon online somewhere. And we tattooed each other for a while. At my ex-girlfriend's house, we would hang out inside of her room while she was at school or whatever, because I was out of school. And we would tattoo just outlines on each other, like super crappy tattoos. And to us, they were the sickest pieces ever. And, now I look back at them and I'm like, God, why did we do this shit to each other? But, they're just memories. I don't cover them. I don't fix them. I leave them exactly how they are because they're going to be like that forever. And we just ended up like getting this Amazon tattoo machine, and we ended up doing a bunch of crap on each other. And he ended up moving, and he's like, hey, dude, you're getting pretty good with this thing. You should just keep it. So he gave me like 2 machines, a power supply, some ink, everything needed to get started, And I was like, oh, dude, I don't have any money, bro. My bad. I can't pay you for this, And he's just like, trust me, you're going to do something with it. And I was like, hey, okay, I got you. Hell yeah. So I started tattooing just like out of the house. I built this crappy little station. Well, actually, I look back and it was actually really clean. I had a massage table, had a little desk set up, all that stuff. Like, and everything was really clean from the start. Because like I said, I'd watch videos on YouTube. So like I knew how to set up and I knew how to stay clean. From the day one, I had a bottle of Maticide, like I wasn't dirty. I see these TikTokers and they're like, yeah, just hand poke it and wipe it, spit on it and you're good to go. Like, that's disgusting. So I did it the right way. So I thought, I did everything the right way cleaning wise. But as far as tattooing went, I didn't do the best job first starting out. My tattoos were shaky. I didn't want to shade for the longest time. I'm going to say like 20 tattoos I did just straight outline. I did not want to touch a fucking shader because I was scared shitless of the things. Because I was just like, I don't know how to do this. These YouTube videos ain't teaching me much. I tried on myself a few times and they were horrible. So I was like, all right, I need to do this the right way. All the tattooers say you need to get an apprenticeship. So I was like, all right, I guess it's time to start looking around, and most shops kind of just looked at my work and they're like, oh, you already kind of think you know what you're doing. I don't want to deal with you. Get out of my shop. And I was like, all right, my bad, dude. Don't beat me up. I'm just a little fat kid trying to tattoo, And I saw on, it was either Facebook or Instagram, I don't know which one. The old shop that I used to work at, the owner was doing a grand opening. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to paint this dude something and bring it to him and see if like maybe I can convince him, I'll kiss his ass a little bit and see if he wants to give me an apprenticeship. So I paint this little watercolor black and white like cholo dude with like glasses on, and it said most wanted ink on it. And I was like, he's gonna love this thing. So me and my homeboy show up to this grand opening, and he's got like a sick lowrider in the front, and he's got like the barbecue going and all the homies there. And I was so intimidated. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna man up. I gotta do this. If I don't do it, I'm never gonna do it. So I walk into this shop and I give him, I'm like, hey, I made you this, man. I made you this piece of art, dude. Like, and he's just like, hey, man, thank you. This thing's fucking sick, dude. I'm gonna hang it right here on my wall. And I was just like, whew, hell yeah, thanks, bro. Like I thought I was hot shit right there. And me and my homie just hung out for the rest of the day. We hung out, and this dude had a barbecue. We were hanging out, and towards the end of the day, I was kind of like, I gotta ask this dude. I gotta be like, hey, dude, I need to do this. So towards the end, when everybody was leaving, I walked up to this dude. His name is Luis. Super cool dude. Most Wanted Inc. Simi Valley. Check him out. I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, dude, I really want to be a tattooer. I've done a few tattoos here and there. I showed him my work, showed him some drawings, and he's just like, yeah, dude, you know what? I'll give you a shot. Can you start Friday? And I was just like, yeah, dude, hell yeah. I think it was like a Tuesday. So I was like, I'll go home and I'm like, Mom, I got an apprenticeship. I'm going to be something. I'm not just going to be a loser, I'm going to make something out of myself with tattooing. So I was all psyched the next 3 days, super psyched, telling all the homies, I'm going to be a tattooer. I got an apprenticeship, And Friday comes around. I get to the shop. I go in and it's just normal. It's just Luis, the owner, and my homie Keanu, who was working there at the time. And they're packing a bunch of shit up, and I'm just like thinking like, did they close down already? What's going on? And the owner hands me the keys, and he's like, yo, we're going to a convention. We'll be back on Monday. The shop's yours for the weekend. And I was just like, all right, dude. And so like, I'm just like, I got a shop to myself for the weekend, And I felt like, Billy Badass, I got the keys to the shop. I'm calling the homies like, hey, come through, come check out the shop I work at now, let's do some drawing or something. Let me tattoo you, let's do something. So I spent that whole weekend drawing at the front table, just like answering the phone and feeling like hot shit. People coming in, I'm like, yeah, what's up? I'm a tattooer. How can I help you? Like not knowing what the hell I was doing, and it was a good time though. It was a good time back then. I had fun, and I stayed there for 2 years, and it was dope. And Keanu, actually, the guy that was working there with me, ended up leaving and coming over to Most Wanted or Wildlife Tattoo out here in the Valley. And he ended up opening up his own studio for a little while. And I asked him, I was like, hey, dude, that shop you were at, like, at the time, Most Wanted Inc. was a dope shop. Don't get me wrong, okay? But it was slow. I could not. It was old people and, like, crackheads. I was like, I got to get out of here and get some real business, if I'm going to kick off, So I hit up Keanu, and I was like, hey, you think your boss will give me a job, like, since there's an open booth now? And he's like, I don't know, man. Hit him up. So I hit up Silos, and I'm like, hey, bro, I need a job at a place that's busy. And he looked at my Instagram for like, I'm going to say like 3-4 minutes and messaged me back like that. And he's like, yeah, bro, you want to start tomorrow? And I was like, hey, dude, hey, chill. Let me get like a week or two to tell my other boss to be like, hey, bro, I'm just going to go to another shop. I'm sorry. I love you, but it ain't working out, But it all worked out. And I ended up over here at Wildlife Tattoo. And I love it here. I've been here for 6 years now. 6 years, and 6 years I'm running. I'm going to be here forever. My apprenticeship. So I guess he kind of, like I said, on the start, he kind of just threw me the keys and was just like, deal with it the way you're going to deal with it. And I was just like, all right, let's get it. So from then on, I mean, he taught me the basics. Like, I'm going to say like how to run myself as a business. You know, I was working at his business, but how to run myself. You know, like posting stuff online and like making sure like he's like you need to get your name out there. Like if you're gonna make it, you need to get your name out there. So I was just like, all right, started posting a lot on Instagram and Facebook. And during the apprenticeship, it wasn't a whole lot of like the old school stuff, like scrubbing the toilets with a toothbrush and like stuff like that. I did a lot of running to get food. I did a lot of cleaning, a hell of a lot of cleaning, man. When you're an apprentice, you better get ready for cleaning, guys. A lot of fucking cleaning. You mop floors, you clean toilets, you clean the windows. And you got to do this stuff without him even asking you. You got to know. You know, cleanliness comes first in a tattoo shop, always. So I was just like, from the bat, I was like, this place needs to be shiny all the time, you know. So I did a whole lot of cleaning and a whole lot of getting food, a whole lot of smoking. Other than that, man, it was a lot of drawing. You know, I drew a lot of traditional designs, you know, and it wasn't even him telling me you need to draw. I just knew I need to draw to get better. So I would go on Google like every other tattoo artist. Don't lie. You know, we go on Google to get a lot of our references at least, you know. So I went on Google. I got a lot of traditional roses, snakes, ships, stuff like that. Throw it on the light box and I would trace all day. Just line work. Just trace it. And then after I finish 20 line drawings, I pick them all back up and I shade them 20 all in a row. By the end of the day, I did a bunch of them. After a while, I kind of slowed down once I started getting busy tattooing though. So, I mean, the apprenticeship was kind of easy. I'm not going to lie. I didn't get a lot of heckling. I mean, I was already tattooing from my house a little bit before I got into my apprenticeship. So I was kind of comfortable holding a tattoo machine at least. And at that time, I did a little bit of shading and some color packing and like, excuse me, a little stuff here and there. And, I wasn't too nervous getting into the shop because I was like, I already know kind of how to deal with people because I dealt with my friends as clients, you know. So I'd practiced on them like, how you doing today? You know, can you sit down for me? Can you do this and that? And I'd try and be professional. But at the time I was like, I probably sounded like an idiot. But yeah, there wasn't too much of like the crazy stuff. And I was comfortable doing most stuff right off the bat. You know, I didn't want to do portraits and I turned down a lot of work that I was like, I'm going to fuck that up. You know, I'm going to shoot you to the owner. You know, I'm not going to take this because I'm going to bang you up and you're going to have to come get covered up. So I was respectful enough to my clients to turn down work I knew I couldn't do, you know, which every artist should do. You know, I don't think that certain artists should take work that they are not going to do, you know, unless it's their homie and they're trying to step out the comfort zone. But I tried to stay in my comfort zone until I knew I was like kind of good, you know. Well, when I first started, the traditional tattooers used coil machines. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of the pens and like the super lightweight machines. It was like you're having a heavy machine in your hand and it's going to be a jackhammer. That's what I was used to. You know, I immediately picked up a big machine from the start. So later on, picking up bigger machines was like my hand was a rock. I was trained, you know, like I could pick up, you know, my old machine was actually called the jackhammer and I bought it from a homie and I still have it to this day actually. And those machines, man, I don't know, with traditional tattoos like I'm used to, the new pens and stuff can't keep up. I don't think, you know, but I use traditional coil machines forever. I'm going to say like till just like maybe 3 years ago, I was using coils. And then I picked up one of the pens, and I don't think I'm gonna go back to coils, man. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I can go back to coils, dude. After a while, the hands get tired, and like those pens, man, they're like butter. They're so beautiful. I first bought a rotary machine. I think it was the first model Bishop, like not the pen. It was just the rotary machine, you know. And I love that thing. It hits so soft. That's when I first started shading too. So I was like, I need to get something that hits softer than this gnarly ass jackhammer I have. You know, I got to get some soft shades. So I bought the Bishop from Keanu, actually, the old homie. So I bought the Bishop, which I still also have to this day, and it just butter, the smoothest lines ever. And after that, I was like, damn, I don't think I can ever buy another coil machine. I had to think really hard. Like, am I gonna be one of those dildo holding guys? Like, am I gonna run a machine that hits like a pamper? Like, am I gonna be that guy? Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. My hands are worth it. So after that, man, nothing but rotaries. In the beginning, I used Amazon ink, and I'm gonna say for like a week. And after that, I was like, this stuff is packing like shit. So I went and checked out what the pros were using, and they were using this dark ass big bottle of Dynamic, and I was like, I need to get a bottle of Dynamic, and they sold it at. Me and the homie used to go to the swap meet in Panorama City, and they had a tattoo booth in there that sold equipment. I forgot the name of it. There was like a certain supply, whatever. But I bought a bottle of ink and all my supplies there back in the day. And ever since then, first weekend, and I'm still using Dynamic to this day. Best ink I've ever used for black, at least. For lining and all that, Dynamic is the way to go. Other than Dynamic, big brand inks, yeah, that's all I use pretty much. I don't use that Amazon low grade stuff anymore, not for a long time. But for color, I use nothing but Eternal. Eternal inks is the way to go for colors. It's just, they have every color known to man. It packs in like beautifully, and I never have trouble packing in any of the colors. I think I forgot the other company, but I used another company that was pretty well known. Oh, it was Fusion. Fusion is what I used to use, and I had a trouble with a lot of them. No offense, Fusion. I love you guys, but a lot of the colors, I had problems packing it in for some reason. And I don't think it was my needles or the way I was packing, because as soon as I switched over to the Eternal ink, no problems. Beautiful ink, beautiful company. Love you guys. Needles. So cartridges, I'm using a company that my buddy Paul, which is my supplier, ended up signing a contract with, and it's called Triton, and they are amazing. So far, I'm going to say for the last like 4 months, I've been using them, and I haven't had to throw a single cartridge away. I used to use a couple other companies. I'm not going to mention any more names, but I used a couple, and I'm going to say like 5 out of every box I was tossing because they would break or something would happen. So as soon as I moved over to my buddy's stuff, beautiful cartridges. So check out Triton and check out my buddy Paul. Totally worth it. Yeah, it's pretty expensive actually being a tattooer. People like to think that everything's free and we get everything handed to us, like our needles and everything, but everything adds up, We've got to pay for down to the little stuff like razors and paper towels, the ink, the needles, the machines. I mean, one of my machines alone that I haven't even touched yet, low key, it's just sitting in my drawer. I used it once for 10 minutes and I paid almost $1,000 for that thing, Not to mention, we got ink caps, 4 different sizes of ink caps that people like to use, like we got small stuff like the little, what are they called? The little picks you use to, we got those to scoop up all your A&Ds. You got the A&D itself, people use numbing stuff nowadays, and that stuff's great, but it's expensive. Yeah, when I get my supplies, Paul comes once a week, and it's so handy having Paul come over here, because there's other companies that do come with their trucks and stuff, and I love to support them, but there's certain companies that are just great, and you support them, and they come every week on the dot. They always have the supplies I need. That if I ask him for something like personal, like I need something, only just one of these, and he doesn't usually get them, he's gonna find a way to get it for me, and like it's really good having a good supplier. And yeah, he comes once a week, and it's great. Spending wise is different every week. Some weeks I don't even pick anything up. I'll be like, hey, come by and come say what up, but I don't need anything today, and then the next week I'm dropping $600 or $200 $100, $10, you never know. It just depends on what I need that week. But usually it's around like, I'm gonna say like at least minimum $100 a week on supplies. Yeah, usually I just take a look at my supplies and I'm like, damn, what do I need? I'll write down a little list and I'll go through all my sizes of needles and all that stuff. And I'll be like, all right, I need more of this and more of that. And I'll write down what I need. And I don't really keep track of like what I spend, I guess. I just kind of spend it when I need it. I'm gonna get it back within the week, like I get my money back on my equipment because of my craft. I don't have to worry about how much it costs. I'll pay the extra for the good stuff, for the good ink, for the good paper towels, because it's worth it for my clients. Those rough paper towels, you wipe once and they're like, ugh, it hurts so bad. I use the soft shop towels with the extra soft blue soap on it. I got that good stuff. Come see me, boo boo. Yeah, I mean, other than supplies, I mean, I don't pay rent. I pay a percentage. So every tattoo I do, whatever they pay me, a percentage of that goes to the owner of the shop. And that's okay with me. Most of my clients tip me pretty good. I got some pretty good tips. And, other than that, it's not really that bad paying for, the percentage wise. I'm cool with it because I know the owner's got to make his money. The door's got to stay open, floor's got to be fixed, lights got to be fixed, so it's actually a pretty good, like, ratio of me spending money and making money here. I'm not a baller by any means, but I got enough to feed my children, that's all I care about. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that clients don't understand about being a tattoo artist, like, there's, obviously I don't get sick days. If I take off that day or that week, if I get sick, I got COVID a few weeks back or a few months back and I took a week off and I made $0, no money at all. And I was taught when I first started tattooing that you need to save money for the times that it gets slow or the times where you get sick or hurt, so I was taught you need to save. So I don't spend a whole lot of money. I do spend money on myself here and there, but I save a lot. I try to at least. I consider myself I guess a traditional / neo-traditional tattoo artist. I kind of like to dabble in a little bit of everything though. I do portraits here and there, like dark portraits. I like the horror stuff. I do a lot of mainly traditional, but lately I've been getting into neon designs. So I've been doing a lot of like painting with neon and stuff and anime like the squares from the old comics. I like doing stuff like that. I've been drawing a lot of that lately and trying to get clients to come in and do a lot of that stuff because I want to try and step out of my comfort zone. I've been doing traditional tattoos for as long as I can remember me tattooing, so I just kind of been stepping out of my comfort zone, doing stuff that I'm not used to doing or people aren't used to seeing that kind of work come out of me. So like, I think it's been getting some pretty good likes and, people are loving it. So I'm going to keep it going and I'm just kind of going to keep stepping out of my comfort zone until I get to that point where I'm like, I could do everything, whatever you bring me, I got you. Yeah. And when I say neon tattoos, I don't mean the neon ink. I don't recommend putting that stuff in your skin because there ain't no testing on that. I don't do like 20 years from now, your skin's going to peel off and it's going to like be all goopy and shit. I mean, like I give the effect of it's on, like it's lit, like it's not lit, bro, but like lit, So I give it the effect, it's kind of like a regular neon light would have a white center with color on the outside and would be in a dark room most of the time, so I try and give the effect that I'm making a neon tattoo. Not actual neon ink, but the colors are as bright as I can find them. They're like the super bright, not even traditional. They're like the colors are like graffiti green and like super bright pinks and stuff. And like that stuff's going to make it super bright and vibrant. And like that white at the end is my favorite part. Because once you pack the white in, it gives the effect, so definitely would recommend trying out new style, like getting into new stuff, like me doing those kind of tattoos. I was even trying them out on myself. Like I've never done this. I'm gonna try it out and see how it looks. And I was like, yo, that looks pretty good. So let's try to do some more, you know? I think I saw an episode of Ink Master. They did a little one of their little challenges was like you got to make it look neon, and I watched the episode and was just like, yo, I'm gonna try that, but with like smaller stuff, not so crazy. This just focused more on just the neon, you know. So I tried a couple of them, and they came out pretty good. And I mean, I'm trying to get the flow right to make it not look like it's drawn. You know, I try to want to make it look like it's hanging off a wall or something, but off of your skin. You know, challenges would probably be the whole damn thing, man. Any tattoo you do is gonna be challenging, but the neon ones, like I said, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, so that's like I'm trying things that I've never really done before. Like I never really picked up round shaders to shade with. You know, I lined with them because they were so thick that I was just like, I'm used to lining with these, and now I'm shading with them, so I'm used to just like getting that line in and getting it. You know, now I have to like softly shade this thing with something I'm used to just getting in there. You know, like that's really the only thing that I've noticed of like that's super different. You know, so far they've been healing really well. You know, I did one on myself. I healed up pretty good. I think I healed up pretty good, and I did one on who was it? Oh, I did one on my coworker Ken, KTF Inc. Actually let me try one on him, and it came out super fucking dope with a solid black background. It was a red dagger that had like just red outside with a white solid inside, and it was prime, and it still looks great. It's been about 2 months now. No complaints. Yeah, man, I definitely think there's a future in it for me. I mean, I want to get not known as the guy that does neon, because there's a lot of artists I've seen that do like super sick neon, and I'm like, those are neon guys, you know, like they're known for just neon stuff, you know, but I want to be well rounded. So I want to be able to have a client come in and be like, I want a neon thing that I saw on your page, and I don't need to be nervous about it, you know, I just get it done and it looks sick, you know. Styles that I haven't tried, low key, I really want to get into a lot more Japanese work. I've done a couple small Japanese like pieces here and there, but I really want to do like some solid back pieces of Japanese work, you know, and I really want to try out some realism portraits, you know, like color if I can, you know. I haven't really tried them. So like I'm definitely stepping out of my comfort zone with that one. But that would be something I really want to get into, is doing a lot of color portraits. That would be sick. Yeah, that back piece actually, I kind of just wanted to get something out into my portfolio that I haven't done, you know, which on the list is definitely a back piece. You know, I've started some back pieces, but those clients don't come back, or they can't afford it at the time, you know. So I haven't really finished a back piece in my career. So the one I'm doing now is on my apprentice, and I was just like, hey, dude, you're going to sit for this whether you like it or not. You know, I'm going to do this on you. I know you want it. I don't got to ask you. You know, I know you want my work on your back, you know. So I did the line drawing and showed it to him. I did the line drawing in like a day. So I showed it to him, and he was just like jaw dropped, like, yeah, let's fucking do it, you know. So I was like, yes, got someone to do a full back piece. And it's actually been going pretty quick. I mean, we lined it out in like, I'm going to say like 4 hours of solid tattooing with the lines. And the dude sat like a champ, sat like a beast. And today's session was just black and white. You know, well, actually just black. And we pretty much got the whole thing done with all the black, you know. And next session is going to be solid color. And we'll probably do 2 sessions on that big old bad boy. For that piece, I mean, I'm leaning more towards the traditional side, but after today, I kind of went more with the neo-traditional, so I might dip in a few different colors. You know, I'm definitely going to do with the traditional, you know, yellow, green, reds, blues, but I think I might tap into some like light browns, dark browns for the skull. Might end up doing some like crazy different variations of greens on the leaves. You know, I might just go all crazy with it just to be like, this is what I do, this is what I'm about, you know. Best way to get in contact with me is through Instagram. I mean, my number's on there. You know, if you want to follow me at Everyone Inked, that's Everyone Inked. Super easy. Easy to remember, easy to tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your granny. Shoot me a follow, and I promise you'll get the work that you want if that's what you see in my portfolio and you like it. I promise you're going to get what you want. I mean, all I could really say is thank you. I mean, I wouldn't be at the spot that I'm at today if it wasn't for my family, my clients, my homies, telling me that I can do it. Because I've had plenty of people that are like, you're wasting your time, you're not doing shit, you ain't going to be shit. And I'm like, eat a dick, bro. So it's thank you to the people who really supported me, and they're still supporting me to this day because I fucking love you. I appreciate the shit out of every single one of you. Trust me.